about I have the weirdest hands on the internet, and maybe just the world, whatever. Hello, welcome back to Learning Curves. I'm Anastasia, and today I want to share with you 3 rules or guidelines that I follow that I've collected in my parenting journey that make me feel like a better parent. So I have a baby, a 7-month-old, and a toddler, a 3-1/4-year-old. The things I'm going to be sharing I have implemented specifically in parenting, but I've been able to apply them to pretty much all of my relationships. I have my therapy journey and Big Little Feelings to thank for a lot of the information in this video. I'll link my video on therapy and why I think everyone should go, and I'll link Big Little Feelings Instagram account in the description box. So the first thing, this applies to, yes, my toddler, and is something I learned from Big Little Feelings, which they specialize in toddlers, but this is true for all kids, all humans, all people. Feelings are feelings. Whether a little person is feeling sad or a grown-up is feeling sad, sadness is sadness. Hurt is hurt. Fear is fear. You know, just because they're a tiny person doesn't mean that their sadness doesn't count. So when it comes to my child's feelings, specifically my toddler, I make sure that I respect her feelings, I help her identify those feelings, and I help her navigate through them. Just yesterday, my daughter had a hard day, and long story short, after we identified that her feelings were sadness and disappointment, we kind of helped her get through those immediate hard feelings. And my husband was upstairs with her, and our baby and I were downstairs, and he's like, okay, let's go back downstairs with mommy. And she goes, no, I watch movie now. And looked at him, and he was like, yeah, you watch movie now. There are a lot of times our kids ask for something for their own self-care that we want to deny because it feels like we're going to spoil our kids or whatever. And I can't tell you how many days I have where it's an awful day and I want to have a cocktail and watch Netflix. You know, my baby wanted to sit and watch Raya and, you know, feel better. Great. Yep. You had a hard day. Let's do some self-care. Something that really gets under my skin that I need to learn to let go because it's about them, but is when people use words that assign judgment to my child for having big feelings. I mentioned this in my video about therapy, but if you think about emotions like peeing, when you're a kid, you just kind of have the pee when you feel the need to pee. And eventually you have a better understanding of how your digestive system works and those feelings of needing to go to the bathroom and being able to pause until you're in a place where it's more appropriate to do so. I think it's the same with emotions. In the beginning, we have the emotion, we blah, there it is. And eventually we're able to process those emotions differently, and we're able to express them in ways that are appropriate and healthy instead of just sitting in them in a diaper. I feel like when people talk about kids, especially my kid, I mean, not that they say it especially about my kid, but just I feel this way, especially when they're talking about my kid. You know what I mean? When they're saying like, ugh, they're throwing a fit, or they just want attention, or which we'll get to that, or they're acting out. It's like they're peeing in their diaper. Understand that they need to pee. They need to get their emotions out. I think in the beginning, the first time you feel sadness, the first 100 times, 100,000 times, whatever, that you feel sadness, that you don't know what it is. Of course, you don't know what to do with it. You cry. You know, when we experience our emotions in a raw way, it looks like what you see kids doing. So the first rule, guideline, whatever that I live by is that I respect my kids' feelings. So the second guideline that I follow in parenting that helps me feel like a better parent is my kids want attention and I give it to them. I shared in my video about what I'm learning about adults from raising a toddler. One of the 2 needs that every child has, and I think every person has, spoiler for the video, is a need for attention. And I think so many of the issues we have with our kids is not listening to their needs. Not listening to their needs when it comes to expressing their feelings, but also when it comes to their need for attention. So many relationship issues, marriage, parent-child, coworker, friendship, whatever, comes from attachment issues, whether you feel securely or insecurely attached to someone. I mean, if you feel securely attached, you're probably not having issues, but if you feel insecurely attached, then you probably are having issues. A lot of times, kids are asking for secure attachment. They're asking to feel securely attached to you. I actually saw a Big Little Feelings ad on Facebook recently. I think it said, kids don't say I had a hard day. They say, will you come play with me? When kids just want attention, you know, there's nothing just about it. I'm never going to judge another parent for their decisions. I think we're all doing the best that we can do, but I think that, you know, schools of thought have significantly changed in the way that we're encouraged to parent. I know when my mom was a kid, it was the whole children should be seen and not heard. When it was okay for us to be seen and heard, we were transitioning, and now I think we've transitioned a little further, and now we're even moving away from time outs and more towards time ins, if you want to call them that. I don't love that verbiage, but whatever. It's where I feel like I can't give you examples without like plagiarizing from Big Little Feelings. You just need to follow them on Instagram. So without stealing from them, I want to say that I think it's important to give my kids attention when they are asking for it, whether they be asking in a healthy way, like, please come play with me, or, they're doing something they're not supposed to way, drawing on the walls, whatever. They're being naughty, acting out. Often when kids are acting out, they're asking for something and they don't have the words because they're kids and they haven't figured out how to ask for it in a healthy way. And a lot of adults haven't figured out how to ask for things in a healthy way. So I want to teach my kids how to ask for things in healthy ways. And last but not least, the third rule guideline that I follow that helps me feel like a better parent is that when my kids are asking for power, I give it to them. It sounds different than what I mean. Part of the reason that toddlerhood and teenagehood are so hard, they call them three-nagers for a reason, is because they're learning new pieces of autonomy. When they're a tiny baby, they're just kind of doing whatever we allow them to do. They're eating what we give them. They're sitting where we put them. They don't understand that they can ask for specific foods, that they can say, no, I'm not eating that they can ask for activities that they want to take part in. They don't understand that. But when they're toddlers and they start to understand that there are choices being made and that they can affect those choices, they start to want to exercise that ability and capitalize on that autonomy. It's the same thing with teenagers because they're starting to see themselves more like their parents, even though we all know they still have a long way to go, but they are wanting to make more decisions for themselves. I believe that if someone is deprived of something that they want badly enough, that they will go to deviant methods to get it. And that totally clearly happens with toddlers a lot. If they are not allowed to have certain things that they really want, they will lie and they will steal. And I understand that my daughter is 3 1/4 and I have a long parenting journey ahead of me. So I am sitting high up on my hill. I understand that things could take a turn. And also I see that glimmer in my 7-month-old's eyes. And I know I have a lot of trouble ahead. But I will say something that's been really helpful for me is when my daughter asks for something, when she asks to make a decision, that's her asking to be a partner in her own care, I say yes as often as I can. And if I have to say no, I often say when it can be yes. If she wants to go to the park, that's a great idea. We'll go to the park this weekend. In fact, she now, when she wants something and I'm telling her an immediate no, she says after nap. I guess we've offered her a lot of things after nap, because that's when she thinks she's going to have everything. Or if she doesn't want to do something, she'll tell me after nap. Yes, my husband and I are the parents. We're the leaders of this team. But any good leader knows they're still a member of the team. They just lead the team. They're not more important than the other people. They just get to make choices. And with great power comes great responsibility. And if my daughter asks her leader for things, and I say no constantly, I'm going to sound like a tyrant and she's not going to want to live peacefully in our community. Whatever, this is getting weird. It didn't happen overnight. It took a while of her understanding that when I say no, it's for a reason, as best as she can understand that, and that I say yes whenever I can, that she will ask me, Mommy, can we do this? And when I say, I know that sounds like a lot of fun, baby, but I'm sorry, we can't do that right now. I make sure to respect the feelings that she may have about that. I respect that she wants to do that. She handles those no's so much better. Imagine if you had to get approval for every decision you had to make. It's frustrating enough sometimes in work situations when there's something you think is a really good idea and is going to make your job in life a lot easier and someone says no to that. That can be really frustrating. Imagine that being every decision you make, every experience you have, whether or not you can go to the park, whether or not you can eat what you want for dinner, whether or not you can watch TV when you want to watch TV. When every single thing that you want to do in life has to get approval from someone else, it's so frustrating. And then if you think about a lot of those approvals not coming through, you're going to want to rebel. You're going to want to act out. All three of these are kind of related. They're all sort of, I respect my kid and her wants, and I try and say yes whenever possible. We're not raising people who are going to be kids forever. We're raising future adults. So I try to respect her as much as possible, understand her experience level, understand that she's working with the raw materials of being a grown-up. You know, so much of what people work through in therapy are ways we've learned to interact with the world from when we were younger, and sort of scar tissue that's formed from not feeling securely attached to people or not feeling like our needs were being met or even heard. And hi, long story short, it got really loud in my house, so I'll just finish up out here and you can get a sneak peek as to how crazy our backyard looks. Put that video here somewhere. I don't know which corner it links in. So yeah, I respect when my kids ask me for things because it is my job to give her the tools to be an adult and be able to make smart choices, to use her power well, to understand what feelings she's having and how to navigate through them, and to ensure that she feels securely attached to the people who love her and that she knows what a secure attachment feels like in a healthy relationship so that she can prioritize those in her life and speak up for what she needs in relationships. So that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like this video and please consider subscribing. I'll see you next time. Bye. That pitch thing was weird. What happened? What happened with that?